broadcasting across the nation from the East Coast to the West, keeping you up to date on technology while enjoying a little whiskey on the side, with leading-edge topics, along with special guests, to navigate technology in a segmented, stylized radio program. The information that will make you go, Pull up a seat, raise a glass with our hosts as we spend the next hour talking about technology for the common person. Welcome to TechTime Radio with Nathan Mumm.
Welcome to Tech Time with Nathan Mumm, the show that makes you go, technology news of the week. The show for the everyday person talking about technology, broadcasting across the nation with insightful segments on subjects weeks ahead of the mainstream media. We welcome our radio audience of 35 million listeners to an hour of insightful technology news. I'm Nathan Mumm, your host and technologist with over 30 years of technology expertise. Our co-host, Mike Roday, is in the studio today. He's the award-winning author and a human behavior expert. Now, we're live streaming during our show on 4 of the most popular platforms, including YouTube, Twitch.tv, Facebook, and LinkedIn. We encourage you to visit us online at techtimeradio.com and become a Patreon supporter at patreon.com/techtimeradio. We are friends from different backgrounds, but we bring the best technology show possible weekly for our family, friends, and fans to enjoy. We're glad to have Odie, our producer, at the control panel today. Welcome, everyone. Let's start today's show.
Now on today's show.
All right, this week on Tech Time Radio, we're diving into some exciting updates and intriguing tech mysteries. Discover the latest changes Apple is making to its products and find out what unusual settlements are making headlines. Next, we take a trip down memory lane to an event that happened 25 years ago at the beginning of the year. The Reddit community has also found a creative way to keep the holiday spirit alive. And there's a new reason to consider where you park for your quick errands. Plus, we have to reveal the impacts of a major data leak and the latest twist in the high-stakes legal battle with TikTok. In addition, we have our standard features, including Mike's mesmerizing moment, our technology fail of the week, if possible, Nathan Naked, and of course, our pick of the day whiskey tasting to see if our selected whiskey pick gets 0, 1, 2 thumbs up at the end of the show. Now, today we're doing something different on the picking. All right, so Marco will explain what's going on here. We're going to be doing this at each beginning of the month, all the way through November, and then we'll be picking it up. We're going to kind of do some taste testing is what Mark wants to do. He's getting crazy. He just wants more, I think, whiskey. Do you think that's what the key is for this?
I don't know. This is what we did the very first shows.
We did, so we're kind of going back.
Except we were sampling like 6 different whiskeys.
Yeah, so at least but just think of this. This is like 4 shots. So by the time we're done with this show, we're going to be able to...
by the time you're done with yours versus... Because I'm not drinking that much.
Okay.
I'm just sipping.
You're just sipping?
Yeah. By the time you're done,
yeah,
we'll just drag you out.
Okay. All right. Okay. Well, you know what? Now let's move to the latest headlines in the world of technology.
Here are our top technology stories of the week.
All right, story number 1. Trump asks the Supreme Court to delay the start of the TikTok ban. All right, let's go to Karen Westland for more on this story.
President-elect Donald Trump asked the Supreme Court on Friday to pause the potential TikTok ban from going into effect until his administration can pursue a political resolution to the issue. Trump joined the app during his 2024 presidential campaign, and his team used it to connect with younger voters, especially male voters, by pushing content that was often macho and aimed at going viral. Trump said earlier this year that he still believed there were national security risks with TikTok, but that he opposed banning it. This month, Trump also met with TikTok CEO Shou Chew at his Mar-a-Lago club in Florida to discuss the media sharing app. Back to you guys in the studio.
Didn't he want to ban it when he was president before?
So, well, no. Actually, for his first term, he loved TikTok because it created competition against Meta and the other apps that were out there that he was all upset with because he doesn't like them.
I must be.
But hang on,
because I remember
things changed though.
Yeah, I remember there was this big thing during his presidency about how bad TikTok was.
Well, it was bad, but he was also very happy that it was able to compete with the American companies that at that time Zuckerberg he was very upset with and other people that he was upset with. But now what you get
these billionaire bitch fights. I don't know what that's all about.
Yeah, you know what? I'll tell you. This is what we got going on. We essentially have a whole new president in this term here because now he's inviting everybody to his estate in Florida, and they can just come in. Like Zuckerberg's been there. Everybody just comes and visits him, and by the time they leave, then Trump and him are like best buddies. So he invites the CEO from TikTok over.
They got to go kiss a ring or something?
I have no idea. All right. Well, this request came as TikTok and the Biden administration filed opposing briefs in court, with the company arguing that the court should strike down the law that could ban the platform by January 19th. Well, the government emphasized its position on the statutes. It needed to eliminate it as a national security risk. In a brief from Trump, though, he says he opposes banning TikTok at this junction and seeks the ability to resolve the issue at hand through political means once he takes the office. In their brief to the Supreme Court on Friday, attorneys for TikTok and its parent company, ByteDance, argued that the federal appeals court erred in this ruling and based it on its decisions of alleged risks that China could exercise control over TikTok's U.S. platform by pressuring its foreign affiliates. The Biden administration has argued in court that TikTok poses a national security risk due to the connection to China. But officials say just because China owns it and ByteDance has that information, that it's turned over its information for U.S. patrons to review and to take a look at, you can't hold them legally liable for having the ability to do something if they haven't done the ability of doing something. So that's kind of where we're at right now. We have this filing that came in last Friday from the administration that says that it's ByteDance company.
All right, what's gonna happen? What do you think?
So I think this is what's going to happen. I think it will get very close to being removed. There'll be lots of pushback from the app stores, including the Apple Store, the Google Play Store, that this would be a really tough thing to pull it back because you're going to have to start blocking people. The technology to do this means you have to go onto their phones, which is kind of an invasion of privacy in their app area, remove the app. So is that the government is now going to control what apps you have on your device? I think nothing happens. I think Trump comes on in. I think he does some type of backdoor agreement, not agreement. And he comes on out shaking hands and says, we're all good. Don't worry about it. I'll keep the eye on China. That's my, what
do you think our buddy
Espinoza
has
Espinoza hates TikTok, right?
Well, yeah.
And I like TikTok, and I think TikTok is really good because I think it's nice to have other companies out there competing with the United States companies that we know Meta sells their data to the United States so that they can go through and prune information and find out information about its clients. I just don't like having only one person in a sphere of control. Let's just have 3 or 4 people, and then I
really enjoy the way you rationalize this, but what does Espinoza say? No, I don't agree with that.
Okay, so you're on Nick's side, right?
I'm on Nick's side of the fence.
Okay.
I don't think we should have foreign powers learning about American citizens.
See, I think American powers learning about American citizens.
Not that a Chinese government watching TikToks about people shuffle dancing is really going to do a whole lot.
So it's going to know that I like a lot of home repair stuff.
If there's a national security risk involved,
I only gave him my name.
Problem.
I only gave him my name and my email address. Either more stuff out there has been compromised by me having a healthcare provider.
At the end of the day, it really doesn't matter because no matter what we do, we talk about it all the time. Everybody gets hacked, and everybody's data is out there anyway. So,
and later in today's show, we're going to be talking about.
I'll just be positive about that and be like, "Hey, pro TikTok. Let's in fact, instead of just banning TikTok, let's just open it up to all government agencies.
Just
let them have everything."
Well, wait till story number 4, because if this scares you right here, this does scare me. I give them little information of what they have. Wait till you get to story number 4.
I want to drink before then.
Okay. All right. Odie, I think you're up with story number 2. Is that right?
Yeah. Beth Patton.
Yep.
Her favorite gift she's ever given through the holiday exchanges this year was inspired by her anonymous recipient's fondness for antiques and beetles. She made a stuffed beetle plushie using antique brocade fabric she found. Quote, making a stranger's Christmas is just really fun, end quote.
Okay.
For Beth Patton, the best part of the holiday season is not the lights or the snow or opening presents from family members. It's swapping gifts with random strangers on the internet. It was the latest online gift-giving event of its kind to shut down, as Imgur's event followed the same fate as the immensely popular Reddit gifts, which I've never heard about.
Okay, you never heard about
until today.
Okay.
But that ended in 2021. But the Christmas spirit is strong, and Patton and other Reddit users are keeping user-to-user gift exchanges alive. After her go-to exchange died, Patton is now participating in Given Gifts, another program that sprung up in the wake of Reddit's Gifts demise 3 years ago. She's already done 5 gift exchanges this holiday season. Its main holiday gift swap event works much like the Reddit-run Secret Santa. The annual tradition matches hundreds of people together anonymously from around the world, who are then each responsible for giving a present to the other. Gifters are given a brief bit of their giftee's interests, their likes and dislikes, to help them come up with a present they think the recipient would like. The Given Gifts exchange are organized on a website separate from its dedicated subreddit, and keeping up the fast-growing event became more involved. The team had to find a way to make sure matches were in the same country, so this is like a global thing.
Yeah.
And so that way they didn't have to pay international shipping rates. And when the team ran into issues like people not getting gifts, they began a rematching program that ensured no one came up empty-handed. People are extremely emotional when they're giving and receiving gifts. It becomes a special thing to them, and they need help. We would get thousands of emails when it's growing exponentially every year. You know that means that we're still talking to just a massive amount of users. For now, Patton, the 26-year-old, is happy that her idea of Christmas isn't canceled. There's just nothing like that in real life. Doing a Secret Santa with people you know just isn't the same thing as this massive thing with strangers. You feel like you're a part of something bigger. That's part of Christmas.
All right.
So that's a good little feel-good story.
Okay, so do you do Secret Santas?
No.
Okay, you don't do Secret Santas. So we do a little bit of a Secret Santa at work. And then we do a different gift exchange for New Year's, which is much more aggressive than a Secret Santa. Would you say, Mike?
Yeah. Absolutely.
A little bit more aggressive.
Yes, the Mumm family Super Bowl
of gift
death match. It's a death match of gift giving and taking and throwing and.
But you did come out with some nice whiskey.
Well, it's fun.
It's fun. It's fun.
It is.
All right, so
it's very competitive. It's cutthroat. Yeah.
So do you understand this gift gifting stuff? They ship all of the stuff to a company. So I used to think of it, until I started researching this, I thought that you would just get an address of somebody, and then you could just send that item to an address of somebody.
Yeah.
That's how it originally started. But then all of a sudden you had like creepers and stalkers.
That's what I thought.
That would find out what's going on. So now what happens is you get a Secret Santa. You send it into this company. This company then takes them. There's so many people. They take all these gifts and they say, okay, this is from Amanda H. and it's going to Tracy C. And they then ship it out because you pay for the shipping to go there to the place. Then you pay money to have it shipped out so you can send random strangers on the internet gifts for the holidays.
That's kind of cool.
Is it kind of cool? You'd like to do that?
I think it would be fun. I think it's better than people are willingly participating other than, how you said at your work.
Yeah.
Not everybody is super happy and not everybody is fully into getting a good gift that is $30-some.
$12 for something. Yeah.
A lot of people just try to get away. One, they forget about it and then they don't do it. Or two, they don't want to spend up to the exact amount. Or like in the office when Michael just spent way too much and then other people were, fighting over one specific item.
You mean Michael Scott from The Office?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yes, with the iPod.
With the iPod.
Yeah. Because he wanted to have the great gift, right?
Yes, that shows one of the problem areas of these types of things.
All right. Well, speaking of problems, you know what? There's a lot of problems with people parking where they shouldn't. And
I'm guilty of this.
Are you guilty of
this?
Are you guilty of parking in the bus lane?
No. But listen, Capitol Hill is a minefield on its own. If I want to park in the center lane and put on my little caution lights for the 5 minutes that I'm picking up a pizza, screw that. I'm doing it.
Whoa. Well,
not days may be numbered.
All right, I think Mike has a story for us.
It's not a bus lane; it's the center lane.
Okay, well, hey, don't be giving spoilers
that's
out
even worse.
Yet. Here you go. You're up, Mike.
Yeah, if you're the kind of person that likes to park in the bus lane for a quick errand, you might want to think twice because the nation's biggest transit systems are now using AI-enhanced cameras to keep bus lanes clear of illegally parked cars. The company behind those cameras is a startup called Hayden AI, which offered to demonstrate how they work in real life on the streets near its offices in New Jersey suburbs. Cameras are mounted inside the front windshield of the bus where they can take in everything that's happening in the front of it. The system analyzes those images to decide if it's looking at a vehicle and whether that vehicle is stopped somewhere it shouldn't be. In just 3 years, Hayden AI has launched services with transit agencies in New York, Washington, Oakland, California, and Los Angeles. So right now it's okay, but it is deploying pilot programs in Seattle and Denver.
There you go. It's not okay. In
As
Seattle.
it should, because
And it's talking with other cities, including Philly and Chicago. So
yeah, they now have these installed. I know the person that actually worked on installing these in Seattle. Yep.
as a Washingtonian, what are you doing parking in the bus lane? We don't have any space for these
that's
cars to begin
That's why,
with,
because
let
we don't
alone
have
a
any
bus.
space. That's one of the urban problems is the amount of space and the amount of vehicles that we have and all the wonderful infrastructure that doesn't support it.
That's why you need to take the light rail.
So yes, take the light rail.
Yeah.
It actually works really nice.
In center of Seattle, yeah.
Yeah.
But and on the outskirts, not that much.
Okay. All right. Well, keep on going, Mike. Tell us more about this great system that is going to be tagging Odie soon.
The camera systems are using the AI to help transit agencies catch and find drivers who illegally block bus lanes and bus stops. But that's not the ultimate goal.
No.
When you look at the reason for enforcement, it's really not to write tickets. It's about changing behavior. So this is basically what's called reinforcement types of behavior management. And we're seeing a reduction in the number of repeat offenders. That's true, because if you keep getting tagged, you're
probably going to stop doing that.
You're really
right?
going to stop doing it.
Yeah.
There's some evidence that these camera systems are helping buses move faster, though their rollout has hit a few speed bumps themselves. That expansion is not going quite as planned, as hundreds of drivers originally received some erroneous tickets.
Yep.
It wasn't anything too worrisome at first because you realized that you were parked in a legal spot. And this person that I guess was erroneously tagged says that he's careful about parking only in the legal spot. So he was surprised when the tickets started arriving. And tickets.
Plural.
Repeat
3 in
offender.
a single day.
Yeah.
What?
Yes. There's supposed to be an additional level of human review. Again, this is always the problem that we talk about when we talk about this AI stuff. There should be somebody who is looking at each video of the alleged violation before deciding to whether or not to issue the ticket. And typically speaking, that doesn't happen because we have a replacement. We trust
replace
the technology.
Yeah, well, but if you replace it and you get 80 to 90% of the people that actually end up paying the fines immediately, and then you have to only have customer support for the 10 to 20%. I'm in all these new meetings now, at senior level management. And they would consider at a senior level, they would consider that a great idea that I only have to worry about 20%.
That's like saying we have 100 hostages and we're going to be able to rescue 90% of them. That's exactly the same argument.
The same thing for tickets?
Yes.
You're saying,
you're saying that 10% is going to get illegally fined. That's okay.
Well, but then so they can
10% of the hostages are not going to make it out. That's okay. We got 90.
Well, no, because
You know what?
They
If
can
they have an
propose.
issue, they could just pay attention to where they're parking.
Oh,
That's what this fellow's point was, is he was parking in a legal spot and he was getting tickets. He said he got 3 tickets in one day.
so
Because the system was erroneously thinking he was in a illegal spot.
yeah,
See,
he
this
does
is-
not believe in the system. But just like red light cameras, do you like red light cameras?
I love red light cameras.
Do
Do you really?
Best form of entertainment while you're driving. Truly.
Is
Oh, okay. So you're just sitting there at the red light watching people getting tagged. You're
Yeah.
like,
Tagged.
"Ah."
Yeah.
They get tagged all the time. So, red light cameras now are pretty much universal across the United States.
Mhm.
And they generate a lot of income
Yeah.
because people don't stop and do it.
Yes,
So
yes.
some of the stuff will pay for itself if they keep on issuing lots of tickets for
Yeah, it's
illegal.
not always about the money, though.
Is it?
No.
You think the departments of these really care about people parking in the bus lanes?
They
They want to make the money.
They want the bus lanes clear. I get that.
Okay.
Okay. So is not a simple problem. It's a complex problem.
Yeah.
Because like we talked about at the beginning of the thing, the infrastructure is not built for what Americans like to have. So we have all these cars, and then we conglomerate in these cities, and there's not enough places to put your cars, especially if you have more than one car.
Japan was perfect. When we were traveling in Japan, they understand how to do cars. So like one
they don't have cars.
So everything is mass commuted on either a bus line,
but
an Uber pickup.
You have to
Again,
understand that's culturally generated,
Yeah.
right? Because they live on islands. They don't
They don't
require
here.
all that stuff. But
Why can't it be done
Americans
Yeah.
are
Because
not.
we want our cars?
Like this.
We want our cars.
We want our freedom.
Yep,
Yeah.
personal freedoms.
Well,
and stuff
speaking
like
of
that.
cars, let's talk about Volkswagen. The car manufacturer had a leak that exposed the location of 800,000 electric vehicles. Just think if you're driving in a Volkswagen, it's an electric car, and all of a sudden someone can track and know exactly where you are, to know information about your email, your address, your phone number, and information on your driver's record that's all available. Well, for months, this information has been around for all Volkswagen vehicles, available online due to a data leak, according to a report from a German news magazine, Der Spiegel. The leak reportedly stemmed from the software running inside the Volkswagen's vehicle. A whistleblower noted that it also affects EVs from Volkswagen's owned car brands on a global scale, including the Audi, the Seat, and the Skoda. We talked about this 8 months ago regarding modern cars are a privacy nightmare on a report that was done from Mozilla. And we talked about how automakers are also selling data and blocking the rights to repair. It's very interesting because when you ask the customer service on what happened here, it does note that there was a leak of services, but it has been fixed, and the amounts of data collected by modern day vehicles in this privacy nightmare has been taken care of, and no action is needed. So let's talk about what actually happened here just real briefly. We had 800,000 electric vehicles in Volkswagen that has a pinging device inside of them, with GPS pinging device that they did not have code written correctly for. And at any time, you could just pull up a car make and model number, and you could see the person driving it, the email of the person driving it, where it was across the globe. Does that make you feel safe to buy a new Volkswagen?
Oh yeah, I always want everybody knowing where I live,
Exactly
and where
where you
I
live,
park,
and your phone number,
especially if I'm in a bus lane.
Your bus lane. What's interesting about this is there's no recourse for Volkswagen. They just say that they had a leak and they took care of it. And as that information was available online for people to look at, just freely available, nobody hacked into it. It was just available on that. It's no big deal, I guess. No harm, no foul. That's what happened.
Because at some point people just go, it's going to happen.
That's because they signed their user agreements that said if that happens, that they cannot sue. All right. Well, that ends our top technology stories of the week. Moving on, we have more technology news just around the corner. Buckle up, tech enthusiasts, as we're going to do so with two truths and a lie after this commercial break.
Looking for custom glass solutions for your next commercial project? Hartung Glass Industries is your trusted partner in custom glass fabrication. For over 100 years, Hartung has delivered proven manufacturing expertise, comprehensive product offerings, and dependable service and quality. From energy-efficient facades to custom shower doors, we create glass solutions tailored to your project needs. With 8 facilities across the U.S. and Canada, we combine national expertise with a local touch-ensuring faster service and unparalleled customer care. Hartung Glass Industries, where quality meets innovation. Visit hartungglass.com to learn more.
Welcome back to Tech Time with Nathan Mumm. Our weekly show covers the top technology subjects without a political agenda. We verify the facts, and we do it with a sense of humor in less than 60 minutes. And, of course, a little whiskey on the side. Today, Mark Gregoire, our whiskey connoisseur, is back, and he has a new first-of-the-month tradition that we're going to start. So, Mark, what have we chosen for us today? What is going on here? We have 4 glasses
Mark,
in front of us.
We've got all these glasses of whiskey, and we haven't even started drinking yet. So after that last news report, I really need some.
All right. Well, I'm glad I brought 4 for each of you today. So today we are doing the 2024 Flavor Advent Calendar Round 1.
Okay.
So we are using the 2024 Whiskey Advent Calendar. That way we don't spoil it for anybody.
All right.
There's 24 remarkable whiskeys to use for our year-long blind whiskey competition to see which one Nathan and Mike like best.
Ooh.
Come along for the ride on the first Tuesday of every month while we uncover new tastes and train their senses to become true connoisseurs.
Ooh.
Today is round 1, where they will choose their winner to move on. If they disagree, I will be the deciding vote.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no.
Now, today, all 4 of our samples are straight bourbon whiskey. So start tasting them because you got to get through 4.
All right, here we go. Here's the first one.
Now, straight bourbon whiskey is a type of bourbon whiskey aged in new charred oak containers for at least 2 years, adhering to strict regulations to ensure authenticity and purity. Now, these are the regulations to be called straight whiskey. Location must be made in the U.S. The ingredients must have at least 51% corn in the mash bill. Distillation to no more than 160 proof when you distill it. Aged in new charred oak containers for at least 2 years. Additives, there's no flavoring, coloring, or additives allowed, only water to adjust the proof. The proof must go into the barrels at no more than 125 proof, bottled at less than 80 proof. And the labeling, if it's under 4 years, there must be an age on the bottle. If there's no age on the bottle, you know it's at least 4 years.
Wow. All right. Okay. All right. Have you tasted all of them, Mike?
No, I'm taking my time so I can give a little bit of
Okay, I'm gonna keep.
You just slammed.
So let me just say, I got 2 immediately that I have eliminated. So I'm eliminated 2. I'm gonna get it down between the next 2 as I will continue to sip. The other the other items number 1 and items number 4 are pretty much been gotten rid of. So
number 1 and number 4.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, hang on, but don't tell me yet.
Oh, I'm not. We're gonna reveal what everything is at the end of the Mark's Mumbles. So stay tuned for that. In the meantime, just keep drinking and enjoying. But remember, drink responsibly because heaven can wait.
All right. With our first whiskey tasting completed, our first 4, let's move on to our feature segment. Today, we have a rare segment that tests our staff with what is true and what is not. Let's start our next segment.
And now we have 2 truths and a lie. And now we have
2 truths and a lie.
We have 2 truths, 2 truths, 2 truths,
and a lie. All right, here's what we got. I'm going to ask you guys, these are 3 headlines out of the news, and you're going to choose which one of these is correct. Odie, you're up on this one too. So here we go. Let's take a look. Number 1 story, the most pirated TV show in 2024 was Avatar: The Last Airbender. A young boy known as the Avatar must master the 4 elements' powers to save the world and fight against an enemy bent on stopping him. So that's story number 1. Story number 2, Samsung bespoke fridges are adding AI that will look inside your fridges and analyze your grocery needs, and then put in an automatic Instacart order. Samsung wants your fridge to take care of your grocery shopping with a little assistance from Instacart. Samsung and Instacart have partnered on same-day grocery delivery based on what the AI in Samsung's bespoke refrigerators sees that you need to have. In other words, the fridge could tell them the milk is running low and add a carton to your Instacart order before you even notice. And story number 3. So that's story number 2. Your refrigerator's now ordering stuff for you from Instacart. Story number 1, the most pirated show was Avatar. And story number 3, Apple CEO Tim Cook is the next tech executive to donate $1 million to the president-elect Donald Trump's inauguration committee. Cook's donation follows similar comments and commitments from OpenAI CEO Sam Altman, Amazon founder Jeff Bezos, and Meta as the big tech companies and executives work to curry favor with the incoming administration. All right. So I never knew that this inauguration committee and this inauguration money was ever like this big deal. But this guy has now got over $10 million in his war chest for what's the inauguration? Is it just for the party? I need to find out more information from that because I don't know if that's just to throw the party or
it's for the whole ceremony, the swearing in.
It's for all of that.
They bring bands. Yeah.
Okay.
It's going to be the biggest one ever.
Wow.
So that one is a true one, huh?
Well, I don't know. Okay. Well, did you listen to everything in there? Are we sure that Open's AI CEO Sam Altman and Jeff Bezos and Meta have also donated $1 million? So that was the little trick I could have thrown in there, right?
Yeah, we know your game, buddy.
Okay. All right. So okay, Odie, are you trying to look online real quick?
I'm on Facebook.
You're on Facebook. Okay, all right. Which one of these three do you think is the lie?
You know, as much as I love Avatar: The Last Airbender,
Yeah.
I think that's the lie.
Oh, you
It's
think
the
that's the
most-
lie?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's too good to be true.
Okay.
In my
all right.
eyes.
All right. That's your lie. Okay. Mark, what's your lie?
You know, I had the same thought as Odie, except I don't want number 3 to be true. So I'm going to say that one's not true, even though I'm probably wrong. Because I just can't fathom that.
Tim Cook, an Apple CEO, giving him money. All right. So he's got number. Well, Mike, it's up to you. There's 2.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Odie here. I'm going to say that Last Avatar is the false one, because I can really believe that AI is trying to tell me my milk is low and going to try and order it
Yeah.
online.
Okay.
And
I feel like
I'm pretty sure that donating $1 million to the inauguration fund is a normal behavior.
Okay. All right. Well, so let's just talk about number 2. Samsung's fridge of AI is going to be adding there. Guess what? That is going to be happening in CES, which we're going to be talking the best of CES from 2024 coming on up. So that was a correct
So if that one
story.
is true. That means
That's
Nathan
true.
did not win today.
I did not win today. That is absolutely what that means. And Apple CEO Tim Cook is donating $1 million to the President-elect Donald Trump's committee.
So I was correct that was true, but I just
You didn't want it
couldn't-
to be.
I couldn't vote any other way.
So the most pirated TV show in 2024. Does anybody have a guess of what it was? It was not Avatar: The Last Airbender.
So I knew that was the lie, so I Googled it because I was curious. I know what the answer is.
Oh, see,
then
so
you
you know
can't
the
say what
answer.
the
No,
answer
no, no,
is.
Okay, that's fine.
It's so obvious. It wasn't Avatar: The Last Airbender.
So that was the second most downloaded. So that was actually
okay.
number 2. That's the runner-up. But
I'm
number
gonna
2 was
think
less than half of
Wait a
the
second.
pirated.
Avatar: The Last Airbender, the Netflix version or the original
the
The
version?
original
Netflix,
show.
the Netflix, because it came on out in
Okay.
2024.
Okay,
Rings of
okay.
Power?
And it wasn't Rings of
What?
Power. No.
You're talking about the- you're
Everybody's got
talking about-
Amazon Prime.
You're talking about the
This-
original, last,
No, he's
Airbender.
talking
No, they
about
came-
the live action one that
the
Amazon.
dumb movie.
No, no, no.
Oh,
it's
not
live,
no,
better
no,
live
no.
action.
Okay,
Netflix
because I don't
came
have
out with the
Netflix,
live
so I
action.
don't know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, okay.
I think probably the most pirated one was what's that Netflix show called? It's one of the best. It's the best Netflix show.
The Last of Us.
No,
What?
not
No.
that one.
Okay,
Was
not
it
that
The
one.
Last
That's
of Us.
HBO.
So
You
this
just really put your foot in it, didn't you?
So here-
You're like, yeah, no, Mike, it's The Last of Us.
no. So HBO is normally the number 1 downloaded deal because most people don't have HBO.
Yeah,
That
who
is the
pays for
key.
HBO?
That is the key.
I
So the
do.
House of Dragons series continued this season. You know the House of Dragons.
Yeah, I don't really like that one.
Okay, well, that was the most pirated by over double what was the second one, which is
the Last Dragon or
No,
the Dragon?
House
the House of
The
Dragons.
House of Dragon was the most
yeah,
pirated.
so
it's a Game of Thrones reboot.
Yeah.
Oh, I know what it is.
Oh,
I just
okay.
don't think it's worthy of. Like maybe it's worthy of pirating. I don't know.
Well, a lot of people don't have HBO, like Nathan just said.
So that's
Yeah.
the key.
Like,
Yeah.
like
Or
when
since
you,
Everybody has
Or
Amazon
Mike,
Prime.
since
Yeah.
it's not good, is it worth in pirating versus
that's
paying
my-
for HBO?
Yeah, that's my thing. Is
So you wouldn't want it on pirated, let alone you wouldn't pay for it.
no,
on
I
HBO.
wouldn't pirate it if I were a pirate.
Okay, well, there you go. Okay. So good job, Odie.
yeah.
Did you find that it was the House of Dragons? Did you look at it real quick? And it
Well,
came out?
I just couldn't believe that the live because Mark and I went into a whole discourse about it
did.
last year.
I know.
You know, I could not believe that that is the most pirated one.
Well, yeah. Well, that ends our 2 truths and a
It's
lie.
the second most pirated one.
Yeah.
Now on to
If it
Mike's.
had been One Piece, that movie.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a pretty good show, actually. I enjoyed the live action One Piece a lot. All right.
The the movie, the old movie.
No,
the
One Piece,
show.
the new show on Netflix.
new
You got
One
series.
Piece.
yeah, because all
Mike needs to get Netflix. Clearly, Mike does
Mike,
not have
you're
Netflix.
so
Mike
behind,
need, yeah,
man.
Mike need. So somebody needs to call Tim Cook and have him give it some of that inaugural free so that I can get Netflix.
I can just get a private invite to go down to Trump's estate down in
yeah,
Florida.
I don't pay for Netflix.
Did you realize that he just named his property?
Mar-a-Lago?
Yeah, so he just named it. So I mean, so he just decided, you know what? I'm going to call it something, and then instead of anybody coming on over to my Florida house, you're just going to come on over to this name that I did. It just kills me. He just decided to market his
Are we
own house.
surprised by this?
So this is now
this is
this is
Nathan
this is
Land
now
stuff.
Kingdom Come. So when you come into my house and you come into the studio, you're now coming into Kingdom Come.
get
so
out of
we
here.
You know, Nathan, I don't want to defend anybody.
Uh-oh.
However, that is not an uncommon thing to do.
Is it?
And it's actually been shown in real estate. If you actually name your property or have a name for it, it actually increases its value too.
Really?
Yeah.
That's why I'm gonna
name my
property
apartment complex.
Yeah.
It's-
Oh, well, there you go. Okay,
There we go. On to the
All
next
right.
story.
there's the get out of that
All right.
story.
Let's move on now to Mike's mesmerizing moment. Welcome to Mike's mesmerizing moment. What does Mike have to say today? All right, Mike, here you go. How do you feel about getting an AI ticket for committing an infraction?
Why do you always have to ask me AI questions when
Well,
you know how I
because it's
feel
fun.
about it
Because it's
already?
fun.
You
There's-
don't like it.
Well, he does like it. He's very positive about it.
Yeah, I'm super positive that I want all AI to track my movements, what I eat, when I pee in my toilet, where I park.
I'm actually looking forward to that.
That was
Because
CS.
that can tell you so
Yeah,
much.
they have
Yeah,
CS.
Yeah,
yeah.
your
The water
kidneys,
from the
man.
toilet.
Yeah, it'll
Yeah.
tell me if my kidneys are failing. That's something.
We got
yeah,
kidney
that-
stones or.
Mhm.
I'm getting so old that.
All right.
that's
How do you
my
feel about
annoying.
getting an AI ticket for committing an infraction?
You know what? I would be okay with it because that has a better chance of getting thrown out of the court and I won't have to pay anything, except for the fact that I have to spend time going to court
Yeah,
to
I was just
challenge
about
it.
to say you have
So-
to go to court, pay your parking ticket, which
So,
is probably also AI.
If we're talking about getting a ticket from a real police officer versus an AI ticket, I would rather get the AI ticket. I don't want to get AI tickets at all.
Okay.
But if I have to decide whether or not I'm going to get a ticket from a real cop or an AI cop, I would prefer the AI one because that would be easily challenged in court.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you, Mike, for your mesmerizing moment.
I don't think that was very mesmerizing.
Neither do I, but that's all right. It's your moment. All right.
It doesn't really talk about human behavior.
Well,
so,
no, we did. You had the AI ticket things. I was just curious. People like to learn a little bit about Mike.
no, they already know that I don't like AI that much.
Okay. Well, they're learning. If they're new to the show,
If you're new to the show, I don't like AI. I think it's irresponsible and way overpowered.
All right. Up next, we have This Week in Technology. So now would be a great time to enjoy a little whiskey on the side as we're going to be doing so during the break. You're listening to TechTime Radio with Nathan Mumm. See you in a few minutes.
Hey, Mike.
Yeah, what's up?
Hey, so you know what? We need people to start liking our social media pages.
If you like our show, if you really like us,
That's
we could use your support on patreon.com.
Or is it Patreon? I think it's Patreon.
Okay, Patreon. If you really like us, you can.
And you say I'm
like
the
us
English
in
guy?
Patreon.com.
I butcher the English language?
You know you butcher the English
Okay,
language
so it's
all the time.
It's patreon.com.
Patreon.com. If you
/
if you really like our show, you can subscribe to patreon.com and help us out.
Oh, and you can visit us on that Facebook platform. You know, the one that Zuckerberg owns?
The one that we always bag on?
Yeah, you can. We're on Facebook, too.
Yeah, like us on Facebook.
Do you know what our Facebook page is?
Tech Time Radio.
At TechTime Radio.
Yeah.
You know what? There's a trend here.
It seems to be that there's a trend, and that's Tech Time Radio.
Or you can even Instagram with us.
And that's at Tech Time Radio.
That's at TechTime Radio. Or you can find us on TikTok.
And it's Tech Time Radio.
It's at TechTime Radio.
Like and subscribe to our social
Like
media.
us today. We need you to like us.
Like us and subscribe. That's it.
That's it. That's that simple.
And now, let's look back at this week in technology.
All right. This Week in Technology, we look back to January 1st, 2000. It's been 25 years since Y2K was a world scare. What seemed like a joke now caused IT people in the world in 1999 to freak out. In December of 1999, the world prepared for the global meltdown known as Y2K. It all stemmed from a small software glitch. Many older computer programs had been coded with dates using just 2 numbers instead of 4. At midnight of December 31st, it could misrepresentate what was going on with a 00 for the year 2000, which spread wide panic that this error could revert everything back to the early 1900s. Now, the Clinton administration said the preparing... What was that?
I said, see, this would have been a great question to ask me earlier.
What was that? What
About the
happened here?
Y2K stuff.
Well, you can talk. Okay, the Clinton administration said the preparing for the U.S. for Y2K was probably the single largest technology management challenge in history. The bug threatened to cascade a potential disruption, blackouts, medical equipment failures, banks shutting down, travel screeching to a halt if the systems and softwares weren't able to continue to function because they did not know what year it was. Now, these gave a rise to the end of the world as we know it. But thankfully, the Y2K problem in the year 2000 didn't live up to the hype. Computer specialists and grassroots organizers prepped for a global meltdown. They had formidable years coming on up to this where people were so worried about the 00 moving into the 1900s that people decided to create what was known as bug out bags. A mobile home and a year's supply of dehydrated food, a propane generator. They were just some of the precautions purchased from California computer programmer Scott Olmsted made in advance to the year 2000. Some financial analysts remained skeptical Y2K would come and go without any disruption. But by November of 1999, the Federal Reserve said that it was confident the U.S. economy would weather the big glitch. Dozens of communities across the U.S. formed Y2K prepper groups to starve off an unnecessary panic. Now, Kathy Gracia, an organizer for the Y2K Community Project in Boulder, Colorado, said fears of the social meltdown offered opportunity to take stock. So let me ask you this. Mike, Y2K came during your time. Were you scared about Y2K shutting down everything?
I was not, but I was working security at that time frame, so everything was all hands on deck all over the place. We had to lock down our facilities. We had to make sure nobody was trying to break in. We were advised that we might have looters, and it was crazy. This is a really good instance of mass hysteria on a societal level.
I think it was probably even larger than maybe some of the COVID lockdowns and scares. It's a little different because that is more of a disease that could kill you, but this was like the whole economy was
arguably the Y2K problem could have contributed to the lack of response for the COVID problem.
Okay.
I mean, that you could argue that some people were like, remember when Y2K came around and nothing happened?
That's a good point, because I remember when Y2K come, I was kind of one of the poo-pooers. This was overblown, the whole thing. But now being over 35 years in the tech industry,
yeah,
I think it was a really good job by the engineers and software coders that we had a few years to work on it, and the problem got dealt with.
They did with upgrades. So I worked for a large software company down in Redmond, Washington.
Go ahead and say it. It's okay. You can admit it was Microsoft.
Well, I didn't say that, but you did. Okay. So and it was all hands on deck. And I was an IT person providing high level support to billionaires at the time. So I was in an executive support position, and we had all hands on deck, and we had people literally fly to remote locations. Most of the executives at Microsoft were at like remote locations that they flew to. And they were bunkering down to ensure in case things went bad. This is the bigwigs at the software company.
Yeah.
We're scared of what was going to happen, and they bunkered down. And then all of a sudden, everybody watched Sydney, right? So that was everybody was watching to see what happened in Australia. And then when Sydney didn't crash and things were still running there, then all of a sudden there was this big, yes, we may be able to make it. And then what we didn't realize, which is interesting now, is that this is such a global event that we could watch other nations as their time rolled over at different times and then see how things were going. Because by the time it hit through UK, as it was coming through and there was no issues, then all of a sudden we got big emails coming on out. It looks like this was a little bit overblown. We've been able to fix this.
Totally overblown.
Don't worry about it. You can stand down. So it was a very interesting deal because it didn't even come to the United States by the time that we were back on minimum staff, back to just regular support.
I managed a 20-something person security force at this one facility.
Yeah.
It was a tech facility.
Yeah.
And we were all outside watching fireworks go off. That's all we did on New Year's 1999 was watch fireworks.
All right. Mark, did you do anything in particular?
I partied like it was 1999.
Okay. All right. I would ask Odie, but Odie does not remember the one.
I was born 7 months later. So,
okay.
I mean,
there you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Non-existent.
And then a year later, we had our actual real problem.
What was that?
In 01?
Yeah.
What
happened in 01?
The attacks.
Oh,
on
the
New
World
York.
Trade the World Trade Center.
Anyway.
Okay.
yeah.
Wow.
Okay. I got
Wow.
Okay.
You guys, man.
All right, here we go. All right. Well, no, the
Maybe you
World Trade
should
was not
drink it.
9/11. That was 9/11, right?
Not it. It was
2000.
Yeah, it was 2001.
Yes,
Okay.
but that's a.
That's a
Well,
little
let's
different.
move to drinking.
All right, that sounds good. That was This Week in Technology. If you ever wanted to watch some Tech Time history with over
You gotta drink the rest. You've been
220
drinking too
plus
much.
weekly broadcasts spanning 5+ years of video podcast information, visit us at techtimeradio.com and watch our older shows. Well, we're going to go a commercial break. We're going to taste some more items, and then we're going to come back to Mark's Mumble Whiskey review. See you in a bit.
Hello, my name is Arthur, and my life's work is connecting people with coffee. Story Coffee is a small batch specialty coffee company that uses technology to connect people to each product resource, which allows farmers to unlock their economic freedom. Try our Medium Roast Founder Series coffee, which is an exotic bourbon variety that is smooth, fresh, and elegant at storycoffee.com. That's STORI coffee.com. Today you can get your first bag free when you subscribe at storycoffee.com with code TechTime. That's STORI coffee.com.
The segment we've been waiting all week for. Mark's Whiskey Mumble.
All right.
Gentlemen, the three of us are so excited about January 7th, I'm sure.
What is that?
Oh, my goodness. It is National Pass Gas Day.
Really?
Oh, wow. Odie.
Odie, those are beautiful sound effects.
I think every day is National Fart Day.
National
Yes,
Pass?
but this is with no.
Regret?
Yeah, no regret, no. What do you call that? No
Silent but
hatred.
deadlies? Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
So, it's no better time than to express ourselves and free our bowels of stale air without shame, as Odie said.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Okay.
So we can crop dust the aisle in Safeway and be okay with it.
You just let them know it's January 7th.
Okay.
It's okay because passing gas is one of those things that will make everyone giggle.
Yeah.
From children to adults. Do you know that the gas we pass contains methane and hydrogen?
Yes.
Making it flammable.
All guys know
Terrence
this.
and Phillips.
This
Yeah,
is-
they,
Yeah,
on South Park.
but don't worry, you need an insane amount of gas to be able to burst into flames just from passing gas.
No,
So,
but you can get some really good
you can get a little
party
color.
tricks going on.
So you can keep on passing as much gas as you desire, Mike, today.
Okay, well,
Okay. There you
I
go.
should have ate some beans before I showed up.
I
this
got you
morning.
covered, Mike.
Thanks, man.
Now, you know what else produces gas?
What's that?
Our listeners know.
Oh, what's that?
The yeast during the making of whiskey.
yeast. the yeast
that's
does.
right.
Our samples here release trace amounts of carbon dioxide and methane, among other gases, while fermenting.
How about that? So we have bacteria farting in your liquor.
Oh, okay.
All right.
You gotta make it.
So,
you gotta make
gentlemen,
All right. So
we
are
have,
we
we
going
have
to wait
four
till
whiskeys.
are we going to wait till the very end and then choose our favorite, or
Yes,
how do we do this?
But I'll tell you what they are now if you want. So which ones you rule some out? Let's talk about
one and four is gone for me.
Mike.
I ruled out one, so that was the one we had.
All
in
right. So
common.
number one is from Heaven Hill Distillery in Bardstown, Kentucky. It's a straight whiskey, 7 years, 100 proof, 78% corn, 12 malted barley, 10% rye, and it goes for about $45.
Okay.
It is a Heaven Hill bottled and bond 7 year.
Okay.
Okay.
Is there any other one that you ruled out?
I rolled out 4.
Mike is.
I guess if I have to rule out something, I ruled out 3, but I had.
Is 3 still in contention?
3 is still in my contender.
Well, I'll tell you what everything is.
Okay.
because I don't. You guys already have
Okay.
had the sips. So number 2 is chicken cock.
I'm going to just rule out
What is that?
on the name.
Chicken cock.
Okay.
Kentucky Straight Bourbon. It's from Grain and Barrel Spirits. Bardstown Bourbon Company distilled it. Straight whiskey. It's non-age stated. 90 proof, 70% corn, 21% rye, 9 malted barley, $60.
I've actually bought that before. It's got a
Yep.
red chicken.
You've been
That's
on.
the
It's
logo.
been on the show before.
Yep.
You're a chicken cock, are you?
No. Can't see any
Number
more.
3 is Pinhook Kentucky Straight Bourbon
That's kind of. I'm liking that one.
from CJS Beverage Corp. It's distilled at Castle and Key Distillery in Frankfort, Kentucky. Straight whiskey, non-age stated, 98 proof, 75% corn, 15% rye, 10 malted barley, $43 for this one.
Okay.
And the final one, number 4, which you did not like, and Mike has not ruled out, which is so shocking.
Okay.
It is Remus Highest Rye Bourbon.
Okay.
I don't think that's shocking because you have been trying to get me to become a Rye fan, and I have been totally going on that.
So this is from Ross and Squibb, which used to be known as MGP from Indiana. Straight whiskey, 6 years old, 109 proof, 51% corn, so the minimum corn it can be to be called a bourbon, 39% rye, and 10% malted barley. It goes for $55.
All right. Okay, well, we'll see which ones are at the end of their show.
Yeah.
Whiskey and technology are a great pairing, just like the comedian classic gems of Laurel and Hardy. Did you know that they appeared as a team in 107 films, starting in 32 short silent films, 40 short sound films, and 23 full-length feature films?
I did not know they did that. They were that.
That's a lot. Did you like that information?
No.
All right, let's prepare for our technology fail of the week, brought to you by Elite Executive Services.
We are out of time. Congratulations. You're a failure.
Oh, I failed. Did I?
Yes.
Did I?
Yes.
Did I?
Yes.
All right, well, today's failure comes to us from the world of Apple and CPSC. Now, Apple AirTags had to add a new child safety battery warning. Apple is adding the warnings to comply with law mandating labels on products with buttons, cell, or coin batteries. Apple has added warning labels to AirTags and their boxes to comply with the law requiring the label of the product with buttons, cell, or coin batteries that they could be ingested by children, according to the U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission in a press release. AirTags imported to the U.S. after March 19th, 2024, which was when the law was known as Reese's Law, went into effect, did not have the required on-product, on-box warning concerns for the severe risk or injury of battery ingestion if these small batteries are not kept out of reach of children. Now, Apple AirTag battery compartments have the warning symbols. Apple has updated all the boxes to include required warning statements. And we are here to help remind people that anytime your child decides to ingest a battery the size of over a quarter size, please make sure you get it taken care of because these batteries could be dangerous. Can you believe that? I have my own personal opinions. I'm just reporting the news.
Okay, all right.
So how can you swallow something this big? These are huge. I remember little things, little bullets that I used to have as kids that we have. I understand it wasn't batteries, but there was those little batteries that you used to have that you put together.
You know, children
are not
of
supervised?
a certain age are going to put stuff in their mouth and they're going to swallow stuff. I mean, one of my memories of my own children is when my eldest son actually choked on a nickel, so I had to do the Heimlich on him.
Okay.
So this is obviously a concern for little children.
Yeah.
I don't know why older children are swallowing these things.
I don't know why anybody would swallow these things. It's like,
well, why would anyone eat Tide Pods? They're just dumb.
Of course, you know.
I might have a whole generation that did that.
Maybe I have well-meaning parents that want to be able to locate me wherever I am.
Is that what you have going on?
So here,
okay.
Instead of putting this on their clothes, they just I don't know. I shouldn't joke about this, but I mean. It's interesting that this is all about putting a warning on a label when people should understand that small objects get swallowed by children all the time.
My parents didn't care about me. They just let me go out and play, and I figured out how to survive on my own. I must have ate a bunch of batteries, and I'm still
Gen X kids were probably the last generation that experienced
outside
real life.
Okay, is that what you're saying? Okay,
yeah.
All right. So Odie, your life is fake.
all. We didn't have bike helmets. Yeah, don't look like that, Odie. We didn't have bike helmets.
We have seatbelts.
We had lawn darts.
Yeah,
I remember those big. I still have those lawn darts too.
I know you do because you have everything.
No, hang on now. Okay, let's move on now to our Nathan Nugget.
This is your Nugget of the Week.
All right, here we go. Do you know Apple? Okay, everybody listen up. Here's your what is that when they used to come on Saturday morning cartoons and they provided you educational updates? What do they call those things? It was like Conjunction Junction. There was like
Schoolhouse
PSAs.
Rock.
Schoolhouse
PSAs.
Rock.
Here's your
PSAs.
PSAs.
That's
Here's
a public service announcement.
yeah. So this is a PSA for everybody that's listening.
For
on Tech Time Radio.
Nathan, Saturday
Apple-
morning cartoons is
Apple,
a PSA.
That's right. Apple will pay $95 million to people who were spied on by Siri. You can get up to $20 for each device you bought that you accidentally activated Siri on. Apple has agreed to pay $95 million in a settlement with users whose conversation were inadvertently captured by its Siri voice assistant and potentially overheard by human employees. Overheard by human.
So maybe that's why Apple's paying Trump $1 million as part of the settlement.
The proposed settlement reported by Bloomberg could pay as many devices, $20 per device, up to 5 Siri-enabled devices. That means if it's approved by a judge, you could receive $100 in your pocket.
How do I prove that Siri has been
devices.
spying on me?
Yeah, thank you, because that literally happened to me 2 weeks ago.
Okay, if approved, the settlement, listen up here. If approved, the settlement would apply a subset of U.S.-based people who owned and bought a Siri-enabled iPhone, iPad, Apple Watch, MacBook, iMac, HomePod, iPad Touch, Apple TV between September 17, 2014, December 31st, 2024. 10-year gap. A user would also need to meet one major criteria. They must swear under oath that they accidentally activated Siri during a conversation intended to be confidential or private.
You could do this.
Was that?
You could do this
I know.
because of that incident when
Yeah.
at the radio station.
Yeah. I know.
When Siri started.
Yeah. I know. Independently how they claim. The initial class action suit
This
against
is why
Apple
you're talking about it.
followed a 2019 report. I can actually say that it wasn't supposed to do it. Alleged Apple third-party contractors regularly heard confidential information, including medical information, drug deals, couples having sex, and other items that were out of Siri's control.
So when can I do this with my Amazon devices?
Wait. How
Because Alexa, gosh, she's just going off all the time.
You know, sometimes she turns
Alexa
on music
sucks.
now when I don't even ask for it. All of a sudden, I'm sitting there and like music. Comes on,
I want to
Mexican
know
music. I said that. I don't know. Mark says that he keeps on asking Siri to do the Mexican music. And I don't mind. That's right.
I love mariachi music.
That's right.
Yeah.
All right.
I want to know how you turn it on while you're, doing
Anyway,
it.
All right. Well,
You know,
your trigger word is the same word as the.
Are you saying, oh, Siri, oh, Siri, oh, Siri?
All right. Okay. Well, now you know what. With that great visual in my head, let's move on to our pick of the day whiskey tasting.
And now our pick of the day for our whiskey tastings. Let's see what bubbles to the top.
But keep on. I'm going to get money from Apple for that because the series.
I should write a claim.
All right,
Okay.
gentlemen, you have 4 whiskeys in front of you for our round 1 of our 2024 Flavor Advent Calendar.
Okay, so now if I pick one, does that continue on to the next round?
If it's the winner of this round, yes, it does.
Oh wow. Okay, I am going to go with number 2, the chicken cock.
All right, Mike.
Yeah, that was one of my picks. I was having trouble with the chicken one and the number 4 one.
So which one are you picking?
So I just for the sake of moving it on, I'll pick 3. I'll
Okay.
pick chicken.
That's number 2.
All right, then I don't
Chicken
have to
cock.
which
Okay.
is lucky because you guys, the correct order for our listeners out there is glass number 4. The Remus was number 1, and then in second place should have been the Heaven Hill, which is bottle number 1. In third place was bottle number 2, Chicken Cock, and in last place was Pinhook, according to the actual connoisseur.
Really?
Huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I did.
So, Mike, if you had
like.
chosen number 4, I would have chosen that over your chicken.
Yeah, I was going to choose that one.
Well,
that
but
one
chicken
is
cock
a
moves
little
on.
too
All right. Well,
mild.
the science of tomorrow starts with the technology of today. We'll see you guys all next week.
Bye-bye.
Later.
Thanks for joining us on TechTime Radio. We hope that you had a chance to have that moment today in technology. The fun doesn't stop there. We recommend that you go to techtimeradio.com and join our fan list for the most important aspect of staying connected and winning some really great monthly prizes. We also have a few other ways to stay connected, including subscribing to our podcast on any podcast service, from Apple to Google and everything in between. We're also on YouTube, so check us out on youtube.com/techtimeradio, all one word. We hope you enjoyed the show as much as we did making it for you. From all of us at TechTime Radio, remember, mum's the word. Have a safe and fantastic